Hi, everybody. My name's Lauren Royce. I work at Sustainable Westchester. And tonight we're going to be talking about the Westchester Power program and having a conversation about clean energy. So it's the goal of our program tonight, of our presentation, that we want everybody to take away from this meeting. What is Westchester Power? How can Westchester Power help me to lower my carbon footprint? And how can you participate in the program? Or perhaps you already do. So I'm joined tonight by my colleague, Carmen Santos, and also our wonderful Sustainable Westchester interns are on the line as well, Megan and Hamza. So thanks for joining, you guys. Okay, so we just want to mention that Westchester Power plays an important role in building a healthier, resilient Westchester by decarbonizing the electricity grid by providing renewable energy. And that's really what we're going to be talking about tonight. We also have some information about community solar, and we can answer any other questions about Sustainable Westchester at the end of the presentation. And now, as we're moving through the slides, feel free to drop any questions you have in the chat. And once we're done with the slides, we can all unmute and have a conversation with each other. Feel free to ask questions, and we don't want you to leave confused tonight. So we're here to help figure that out. So Sustainable Westchester is a nonprofit consortium of Westchester governments, and it's our goal to enable sustainability programming to help ensure a better future for our communities. And out of the 45 municipalities in Westchester County, 44 of them are members of Sustainable Westchester, and so is the county itself. So all the places that you're calling in from tonight, your municipalities are all members of Sustainable Westchester. And we have a whole suite of programs that we provide. If you're looking to reduce your electricity bill with the community solar program, we can help you tap into a 10% savings program. Our Energy Smart Homes program can maybe help you warm up your house if you have a drafty home. We have resources for buying electric vehicles and helping your municipal fleet transition to electric. We also have zero waste information. So without further ado, let's get into what is Westchester Power.
Thanks, Lauren. So Westchester Power is our community energy program available to us in the county. It was created in 2016, and we basically aggregate residents and small businesses to purchase electricity together, and we purchase this electricity at fixed rates. And in doing this, we have a positive impact on the environment. So there are 28 participating municipalities. We're very happy to say that Tuckahoe recently joined, and altogether we have about 115,000 customers in the program, and that makes up about a third of the county. So how it works, basically there are two parts to your electricity bill. There is the supply side, which is the usage or the actual purchase of the electricity. That is something that we would do for you if you're in the program. And there is the delivery side, which is taking care of the lines, the electricity lines, billing a customer, reading your meters, and that's going to be done by your utility, which would be Con Ed for, I think, most of you here. And in the end, you just basically end up having more energy choice, and through your participation, you're supporting a clean energy transition. So we have two options. By default, most municipalities have decided that their residents and small businesses would enter into the green supply. But we do have two municipalities that decided that they would go into the basic supply, and that's Mount Kisco and Summers. So green supply is 100% New York State renewable energy. And the basic supply is largely non-renewable, which is very similar to what your utility would purchase for you. And any resident or small business can switch between these two options at any time. So the program works on an opt-out basis. So you are basically sent a letter, and most of you probably received a newly eligible letter informing you that you are about to be automatically enrolled into this program, unless you choose to say that you don't want to participate in the program. So most customers that are residential customers and small commercial customers are eligible for this program, but there are a few people that are not, including those who are in an energy assistance program, such as HEAP, and also those who are already under a contract with an energy service company or an ESCO. And those who are with ESCOs are able to cancel their contract after, they verify that they can exit their contract without paying too many penalties, and it makes financial sense for them, and can opt into our program. So if you know of anyone who is with an ESCO to try to support renewable energy, tell them about our program and see if they're interested about it. Sorry. Next, please. So you will, once you're in the program, you'll be receiving your Con Ed bill still. The only thing that's going to change is that you're going to have more details about your supply, and you're going to see Constellation New Energy listed on your bill as your ESCO supplier. And on page 3 or 4, you're going to see more details about your electricity supply, and there will be a message from your supplier, which would say that your municipality participates in Westchester Power, and that it is administered by Sustainable Westchester, and it would give you our contact information. So this is for the 24 municipalities that are in the Con Ed territory. If you live in NYSEG, it would actually be LIGO New Energy. So if you see your municipality on this table here, and you have Con Ed, and you see Constellation New Energy by about April, then you are already in the program.
And sometimes people are like, wait, how do I actually know? And when I talk to them about their Con Ed bill, and Carmen had mentioned it's on the 3rd or 4th page, it's in a little teeny tiny box. There's like a thank you message from Sustainable Westchester, but it's super tiny on the back there. Okay.
So the benefits of this program include that it's a vetted community program. We are not an ESCO. We are a nonprofit organization that does vet and work with ESCOs. There are no surprises. There are no penalties or fees that you're assessed ever. You don't sign any contracts with us. We're always here for you. You can call us, you can email us. We have services in Spanish. And we're really here to educate you more on clean energy, the benefits of transitioning towards clean energy, and more. Also, like, we could help you read your bills. And in addition to that, this is a fixed rate program, so it brings you stability. You always know what you're going to be paying for your supply. It will be dependent on your usage, but you will always have the same rate. And yeah.
Yep, okay.
And there's one more important reason why it's very good for our communities, and Lauren will tell you more about that.
That's right. Thanks, Carmen. So we're going to spend a couple slides thinking about the big picture for carbon reduction in New York State. So New York State has some of the most aggressive, actually nation-leading carbon reduction goals, and they are outlined through the CLCPA, which is a piece of legislation that's going to help us to reach 70% renewable energy by 2030 and 0 emissions by 2040. So your participation in the Westchester Power program is helping us to mitigate climate change, and it's also helping us to reach this 70% renewable energy goal by 2030. Okay. So I like to show this chart because it's giving us a little bit of perspective about where is the largest carbon emissions coming from in our state. So a large majority is coming from transportation, but the second biggest piece is residential energy consumption. So when we're moving our electricity supply from fossil fuels towards Westchester Power's renewable supply, we're directly targeting this piece of the pie here and shifting away from fossil fuels towards renewable supply. Okay, and if you're wondering, well, if I'm not in the Westchester Power program and I stay with the Con Ed supply, what is the rate of renewables? So Carmen pulled this information from the NIGATS reports. The last issue was 2018, but this is a report that helps to give a perspective of what is the energy mix that the utilities are putting out. So it's kind of sad to see that if you are just taking Con Ed's typical supply, it's only a very small piece of the pie that is actually renewable. Just over 10% would be renewable. The rest powered by coal, natural gas, and nuclear. Carmen, is there anything you wanted to add for this?
No, not really.
Okay.
I think this is good. Yeah.
Okay. So something that we're proud to share is that in Westchester Power's program, our electricity is powered by 100% renewable electricity produced in New York State at hydroelectric facilities. And I like to include the pictures of where the power is generated because I think it really provides a nice context on how we are reducing pollution at the source. Instead of showing a picture of a power plant burning fossil fuels, we've got a lovely lake retreat. So just another benefit of sourcing renewable power. Okay, and the program has actually been around since 2016. Since then, we've mitigated over 830,000 metric tons of CO2, which is something we're very proud of. And, you know, I just have this slide here to talk about the importance of healthy air. And I think with all of the news about COVID and environmental injustice separately and together, people are thinking more about their air quality. So it's important that we do everything we can to ensure we are protecting our air, the air that we breathe and that keeps us healthy and safe. So by reducing pollution, by switching to renewables, you're directly helping to do that. And some other benefits are we're helping to boost the green economy, provide more green jobs, and provide a good future for future generations. Okay, is there anything else that I wanted to talk about here? I think that covers it. Okay. So the letter, Carmen, you're doing the letter.
Yes.
Okay.
So remember I mentioned that you would be receiving or have received a letter letting you know that you're a newly eligible customer. So this would be what it looks like. Our municipalities basically give us the permission to use their municipality seal and put it on the envelope as well as the letter. So you always know that, you know, this communication is official and it's a trusted communication. And in this letter, you should have learned a little bit more about the program, who the supplier will be, what your rate will be. So we'll cover that a little bit more as we go through the presentation. So if you choose to participate, you don't have to do anything. You will be automatically enrolled in the program. The new rate for your electricity supply will take effect on the first meter read date starting March 1st. And the rate will remain fixed until your first meter read day and after June 30th. And Con Ed will continue to bill you. Con Ed will, if you have a power outage, they will continue to service you and fix that. And your supplier will be Constellation U Energy. So that's the name you will find on your electricity bill as the ESCO that's supplying you energy. So you can see the rates here for residential customers. It's at 7.405 cents per kilowatt hour for green supply, and it is at 6.749 cents per kilowatt hour for basic supply. And if you're a commercial business, then, and you're a small commercial, then your rate is actually lower. It would be 7.1 cents per kilowatt hour for green supply and 6.445 cents per kilowatt hour for basic supply. So something we like to do is we like to compare our rates to what's available in the New York State Power to Choose website. So we've done this exercise for Larchmont, and we've looked for 12 months fixed rate contract, and we saw a range of rates from 7.4 to 10.5 cents about a week ago. And so you can see that our rate is basically second to lowest. And note that we are offering 100% New York State renewable energy. Some of these companies are not offering New York State renewable energy. Some of them are from farther away in the states. And our program is fixed for 18 months. So it's really a great rate we've been able to secure.
Okay. So actually at this point in the presentation, if there's questions about Westchester Power, we could take those now before I kind of divert into what the other programs are, if that sounds good with people. Are there any questions out there regarding Westchester Power?
I have one, actually. So I received the letter, and I'm a new resident, so I'm only about 6 weeks in, so I don't have enough of a track record to understand, what it looks like with a full year of Con Edison versus making the switch. But if I'm to interpret the rates, while it's a fixed rate, it looks like on the average for 2020 that it's about 25% more in terms of where it landed as an average between Con Ed and the renewable option. Is that a fair sort of assessment then?
Sure. So I'll take this, Lauren. So Con Ed has a variable rate, and
Right.
every person, like for example, you may have one rate this month and your neighbor may have a different rate. It's applied at a different time per customer, and you get one rate for the entire month. And we've been able to see Con Ed's performance since we've started in the program. So that was in 2016 when most municipalities started. And we actually had a lot of savings up until 2018 because Con Ed rates were above 8 cents. But in 2019 and in 2020, the natural gas market, which you were able to see a graphic we showed, it was a pie chart that Con Ed has a large portion, about like 40% of it is natural gas. That market actually went down. And so Con Ed follows that energy market. And so their rates also went down to historical lows. I think they reached somewhere like 5.4 cents. And right now they're slowly starting to go up. We've noticed a 6.8 cents rate for December, but we don't really know if they're going to continue to go up or if they're going to plateau or if they're going to go down. This program does not guarantee savings against Con Ed. This program is a fixed rate program, and it is a very competitive way to get the suppliers to supply us energy. So because we have about 115,000 customers, and so that's a lot of good business for most suppliers. So when we try to get our rate, this year we actually did a public auction where 4 suppliers participated against one another, and they bid in real time, and basically we were able to see the monitor and them outbid each other. in terms of the rates. And towards the end, we saw very low changes down to like the 0.001 cents of a change. And so we can let you know that we do have a very competitive rate, but we do have a different model than what Con Ed does, which is a variable rate that will be affected by the market.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Why is Mount Kisco chosen as standard and most other places haven't?
Okay, so Mount Kisco, their thinking was that they wanted to help all their residents and small businesses participate in this program, but let them decide on their own if they want to opt up to green supply, and any resident can do that. But they wanted to give their residents the opportunity to be part of the program, and but then it would be on their own actions to go up to green supply. And if you are part of Mount Kisco and you want to support renewable energy, please let us know, call us, and we can opt you up to green supply. And if you have friends that are interested in that, they can we can also help them.
So the municipality needs to be part of Westchester Power for the residents to have the option to opt in, to opt up, or participate at all. So even though Mount Kisco is providing the basic supply, people have the choice, which is what's important. Because if someone calls from a municipality that's not part of the program, we can't serve them. Okay. So Steve, does it sound like you want to opt up? Gonna call us maybe? He's got to think about it.
Anything's possible.
That's good. That's good.
I have another question.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, if there's, I can't see anyone, so I don't know if other people are raising their hands.
Oh, I actually can stop sharing while we're all chatting.
Okay, I don't know. I just don't want to, yeah, there could have been like 5 people doing this and me kind of going, I'm just going to ask another question. So it doesn't sound like it. I could see a beat and a few faces. So again, I'll give context. This is something new to consider. I've always just paid whatever the bills come in the door and, in other places. So what is the retention rate? You mentioned that you've got 115,000 that have signed up for this program. What's the retention rate since you've launched this? Like, what is listen, we all know that people are going to make choices one year from the next, but what has been the dropout versus retention rate of those in your program?
So it the first time around there may have been like a lot more of attrition, but every year after that, I think it waves from like 5 to 10%. And there's something that there's a factor that may be influencing that, and that's mobility. So someone moving from one town to another, that we really can't quantify, like what percent of this attrition is due to mobility. But yeah, other than that, we do have like about a 5 to 10% change, but then we do these like refreshers, meaning the newly eligible letter mailings for those who are newly eligible. And sometimes we end up going back to like where we started. So that's kind of like an indication that it might be a factor of mobility, like where most of our numbers are changing, but still we really don't have that sort of like in-depth analysis as to how that happens.
Right, and you may benefit, especially in this past 12 months anyway, of more people moving into the community. I know myself, along with others, we represent that population, which were city-based, and now moving out and broader. So yeah, I guess it kind of works the both ways.
Yes, and actually this year probably our newly eligible mailing was really high. I think it was like 14,000 or so.
It was what, 14,000?
Wow. Yeah, that was a lot of people.
There you go. Wow, that's a telling story.
Yeah, or above. That's just an estimate. Sorry.
Right. All right, I'll throw another question out there just because I'm a curious cat.
Yeah, go for
You
it.
said you go out to bid and, in the most recent outcome, you came in, you had 4 or 5 players, whatever it is. How frequently do you go out for bid? Is it every 18 months or is it every calendar year or, just always looking out to get, the best market opportunity?
So it's based on when the contract will expire. So we want to do this. I think we did it 6 months ahead. We started the process, or even longer, to go through, because we have to. There are a lot of phases to this. Municipalities have to approve the continuation of their continuation in the program. We also have to release an RFP. So yeah, there are a lot of steps to it. So I would say that it's based on when the contract ends, and I would look back at least 6 months to start the renewal process.
And like, for example, you guys are in a contract for 18 months, but we have the NICEAG communities, they have a 12-month contract, just the way it worked out. So we'll be doing new bidding for each one per contract. Okay. Any other thoughts, questions, comments, concerns? Okay, I think I saw an unmute.
It was me probably. I was like fixing my glasses.
Okay, so now I'll share the screen again, and we just want to share some information about additional energy savings programs that we offer. So I'll run through these kind of quickly just as a teaser, and if you are interested, we certainly have a lot more information that we can provide. And the purpose of Westchester Power is that we're greening the grid to prepare for this electrify everything movement. We want to, just as we're electrifying our vehicles and buying EVs, we want to see the same thing happen in our homes. We want to move from oil-powered furnaces to heat pumps that are powered by electricity. So we need to green the grid to make sure our renewable power is what's really powering our lives. Okay. And the point of that is, so when you are charging your EV with renewable energy, you can consider yourself pretty much essentially fossil fuel free. So it's a nice closed loop there. Okay, so we have a community solar program. This program stacks on top of Westchester Power, so you can do both Westchester Power and community solar together. It's kind of confusing. It's a lot to kind of absorb in one night, but if you're interested, this is for people that live in apartments, have homes without any solar panels, or have a home that's just not a good fit for solar. Community solar can help to lower your energy bill by 10%. And it can also help to support the growth of local renewable energy. So again, there's no solar installation on your property. There's no cost to join, no cancellation fees, and it's a wonderful way to support renewable energy yet again. So if you're participating in Westchester Power and then you sign up for community solar, you're really doing double duty and making your electricity bill count twice towards supporting renewables. Okay. Oh, I had some more points there, but we talked about that. And you can sign up on our website, sustainablewestchester.org, or we can also sign you up over the phone. Okay. An additional program that we offer is called Grid Rewards. This is a pretty exciting program for people that have Con Ed as their utility. The purpose of Grid Rewards is to stop the use of peaker plants. So in the summer, when there's so much stress on the electricity grid, it's super hot, everybody's running their ACs, that's the most stressful time that the grid needs to provide energy for. So by participating in Grid Rewards, you're volunteering to have your electricity demand lowered during these demand response times, and then Con Ed will write you a check back for the electricity reduction that you gave. And actually, some people on our staff are participating in Grid Rewards, and this summer they were kind of all competing with each other to see who could save the most on their Grid Reward participation. And one of our bosses actually saved like $700 a month. He has a larger energy bill, but pretty cool. Okay, and energy smart homes, if you're wearing 5 sweaters right now and your house is feeling really drafty and cold, or you cringe every time you have to pay the oil bill, you may consider having a home energy assessment to diagnose where your house is wasting energy and how it can be improved through insulation, air sealing, and clean heating and cooling. So if you have an old fossil fuel powered burner or heater or whatever, you may consider moving towards a heat pump, an air source heat pump, or a geothermal unit. And there's great rebates from Con Ed right now to move towards heat pumps. So give us a call and we can help. Okay, and that's our show.